Hey everybody, Blind Way back. I'm Aaron.
I am the fastest man alive.
We're gonna do some Q&As. No! Ah!
Shouldn't have wheels. Try to push me, you can't. I mean, if I had wheels, probably still couldn't. But Arrow, no. Flash.
Flash. That's why I got the shirt. Nope.
What?
Chuck. We have some Q&As from various people, I believe, Eric. From
Very esteemed commenters.
Yeah. Where's my mouse?
Click.
What
the hell?
It's not plugged in.
Ah! The mouse has failed us. Bad.
It's like we finally broke it.
I was gonna say, like, did we break it?
There we go. Now it works. We're all fixed now. So anyway, let's see what we have.
Let's.
Ross Bailey, Q&A. What do you think will happen with Patty and Barry in the rest of the season? Patty's leaving. Doesn't matter what happens now. It's all over.
She might be gone for a couple episodes, but I think she'll be back.
What if she's in the grave?
Huh?
What?
Don't start. Let's be serious about this, all right? This is serious shit. Now, we were very upset with Patty last episode. No, we were upset with Barry. We were upset with Patty's storyline.
Yes.
Because seemingly she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Will she be in the next episode?
I don't know. I think so. I don't think she's left yet. They gotta at least have her, like, go away, right? She's not just gonna be gone.
I don't know.
I mean, hell, Diggle's already moved into her apartment.
They had Barry just heal the next episode after Zoom almost killed him.
True. And they've had Diggle already move into her apartment.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I hope that there's more and it's not just gone.
Well, I don't think that's the end. That's definitely not the end. We'll definitely see her again, but...
Next season?
No, we'll see her this season. I mean, she's a... Usually with characters like this, they keep them confined into one season unless they end up becoming a part of the supporting cast, and stay on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but there has to be some kind of closure there. And with the way things have gone, I can't see it being good closure. Yeah. I see it being fatal closure, and I'm frustrated with that idea.
Fatal. So Patty's gonna die?
Yeah.
I don't want Patty to die. I like her. If I lost Patty and Felicity, I'd stop watching the shows.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd stop.
You keep watching.
Be done.
You'd still watch.
They better bring in someone else.
You don't think that if their hottest people left, they wouldn't get more hot people?
Yeah, they'd be
Do
done.
you not know TV? This is the CW, Aaron.
Who's they gonna bring in? The CW.
I have hot chicks just going through the factory line.
What the hell happened to your table?
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
I think that I need to explain.
Boners happened, Koopa Troopa kid.
Harshal Bhavsar.
Bhavsar!
In the season 1 finale, when Barry went back in time to save his mom, he saw another Flash, one with a white logo on his suit, aka Flash of season 2, who said not to save her. I think this is how they tie into the storyline of why Barry didn't save his mom, and that's where Reverse Flash comes into the picture. What do you think?
We have the ingredients, but do we have a motivation why he would go back? No, but we have a lot of episodes to go through still.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I always thought it was a Flash that was a little older, but it looked just like Grant Gustin. Obviously,
like
it was.
Like a Flash from the Reverse's time?
So, are we going to get the resolution to that mystery of why Flash stopped Flash from saving Flash's mom? I can see it. Especially if they're bringing Reverse Flash back in. This is Reverse Flash at his inception.
Yeah.
Like, this is like whenever he still wasn't necessarily good, but he wasn't the evil one that we've seen. He's like, this is him in his early days. This is like his year 1.
Really?
Yeah. So this is, what was going to happen now is the reason he becomes evil and goes back in time to try to kill Barry.
What if he's Zoom?
No. He is Red Lightning. Zoom has blue. Can't change the colors of your lightning.
Okay. Spencer Pauly, do you think the Reverse Flash and Flash will team up against Zoom?
I would prefer that than Wally West get powers.
Yeah. You know what? We were complaining about all the speedsters, and then they bring in a whole other speedster we weren't even planning on having.
Yeah, I know.
And now we just have another speedster.
Yeah, but at least it's a speedster that we already know can speed.
I guess so. Perfect Zoom impressions. That's cool.
Impressions? He liked yours too.
Hey, that's cool. Thank you. Biggie Sniper says, I think Eric and I are telepathically linked. 100% agree on everything.
Biggie Sniper is horny right now.
Siani Reed says, I thought when Eddie killed himself, he was erasing Eobard Thawne from ever existing. So how is he alive? That one, yes. But there's nothing saying that there's not more Thawnes.
No, because Reverse Flash specifically stole Eddie to keep his timeline alive. He knew that Eddie was the fulcrum for the rest of his line. So Eddie has to be that. So, I mean, we do know, though, that this, like, the universe was being torn apart, and then they stopped it, right? So they both they were able to get him erased from existence from one point in his life, but he maybe like half of his existence is still there. So like his past is still there, because the past did happen because they all remember about it, right?
Yeah.
So he literally has to be able to come back and do all those things because they are on that timeline. So he's not reversed from existence at one point. He's reversed from existence at the end of his life, but he has to get to that point to be able to hit the point where he got erased, right? Rather than just having that entire thread go away.
Well, I don't know. I mean, since they stopped the singularity, it didn't correct all itself, so some people still remember it. But
yeah,
it could just be as like Eobard Thawne just...
Well, everybody remembers it. They had a whole damn Flash Day about it.
I don't know. I still think the singularity didn't do what it was supposed to do, so like they still remember it, but it didn't correct all of itself like it should have. So maybe there's like some little loops with that. Now, Chowful89 says it's Reverse Flash from another timeline.
Another timeline or another Earth?
I don't know. What if remember when Flash went back in time with the Weather Wizard stuff? What if that created like another timeline or something like that? Like, how does that work with that?
That's true. I mean, because we know that there are separate universes, but each universe has its own timeline that could split into multiple timelines, right?
I think so.
Right? So it could be... So it's not necessarily a different timeline that, like, Harry came over. He came over from another universe, which is not the same thing. Because time and space, as we've talked about, are linked.
We need Hero.
In universes. So is he from another timeline? Because he was erased from the timeline.
Yeah. But he might not be erased from... He's not erased from the Weather Wizard timeline, though, right?
But he's not erased from the timeline because they remember all of that stuff. Even Patty knows who Harrison Wells was while he was doing those things. So he's literally not erased from the timeline in the past. So like he's only erased from that point where she died.
So he still has to come back in time to do all the stuff that he did. But they're in the future of that time, so why is he coming back now?
Actually, the point in time that he was erased from the timeline was whenever Eddie died, right? Because Eddie could not have any kids. So all the time that he spent forward in time, back in time, was up until Eddie died, and they would still have all of those memories of Reverse Flash, you know? But once he was erased from existence and could not continue, then he doesn't appear there. But he still did go back in time, so there is a version of Reverse Flash out there.
Yeah, but now we're up here, and he's showing up in this time.
Well, he is, yes, but that's because in his timeline, that takes place before he was erased from existence.
Or after?
No, before.
Before. So how's he existing?
This is a younger Reverse Flash than the one that was destroyed at the end of Season 1. Ooh. So his timeline, which starts up here, and he goes back in time... Right?
And then dies here.
And then he does all this. He probably goes back and forth all the time, but he dies eventually when he goes back, and then, like, 15 years, dies. So the Reverse Flash's strand was not plucked from existence. It was cut at a certain point, and it's just tangled up and shit.
But Eddie died, so Reverse Flash shouldn't exist at all. But they still... I don't know.
No.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
The singularity happens. This universe collapses in on itself, but it reassembles itself. Eddie... doesn't have any of the children or anything to have Reverse Flash, but the timeline has already seen him, so it's like he appears at that moment with memories of his past, but it actually never happened because he never happened.
I don't know. He has a Palm Pilot Gideon, which seems very futuristic and stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that idea that you can't prove that you didn't come into existence 10 seconds ago with all of your memories and everything that you have? You think that those things are real, but 10 seconds ago you could have just been existed right now as an already created person with memories. Maybe that's literally what happened to Reverse Flash. Do you understand?
You mean he was just born just now?
Like, he literally came into existence because in that timeline he had done that at that time. But his future self and him, or his present self was destroyed, and everything he would do in the future of the timeline's gone. But he pops into existence because that had already happened, and nothing
What had already happened?
Because he had already gone back in time at that point. This stuff that's happening now had happened in the timeline.
So his future self went back in time and came into the present.
To the present, yes.
Which shouldn't his future self not existed?
No, because the singularity, like, it's like whenever you have a Photoshop image and you have like a layer and a layer and a layer and a layer, and then it just collapses all down, right? Mm-hmm. And some of the artifacts in there got jumbled up, and he's still stuck in the present where he came back
because the singularity didn't fully erase and fix everything.
Yeah. We are just so fucking smart. We gotta be like philosophers or something.
Philosophers.
Yeah. Biggie Sniper is what I'm talking about. We share the same wavelength.
Oh, yeah, Biggie. Good old Biggie Sniper. Billy the Kid Lawrence says, Q&A, yay, TV season is back. What do you guys think about Eobard Thawne's reappearance in the relation to Wells? I find it very intriguing due to the fact that now we will get a clear-cut differentiation between
Grand Admiral
Thawne and Wells on the show instead of confusing season 1 Wells Thawne dynamically. I like what he means because everyone always called Thawne from season 1 Wells.
Yeah.
And then when he came in here, they're still calling him Wells, thinking he's Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna be like, this is Wells, who's working with Zoom, and this is in Jackass, and then this is Reverse Flash. Who? What if Wells actually is bad and Reverse Flash is good?
I don't think so.
That'd be something.
I understand if they chose to do that to like unmuddy the waters, but honestly, anybody that can't make that distinction, they shouldn't be pandering to because they are stupid.
Maybe. Even Billy the Kid says, and perhaps the new Thawne starts out good.
Yeah.
There have been stories where future Thawne was a super Flash fan, went back in time and visited Flash Museum, and only then became evil based on seeing his name in Flash's Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he went back there and he's like, oh, bad guy, but...
Me?
Thawne!
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, better go kill some people.
Yes. But that still works in our idea of the string not being plucked but only cut. You know, I don't think he's necessarily going to be good. He might be like good neutral or evil neutral, but I don't think he's like evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that we're going to develop with this. You know, we might get some team-up stuff, though.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Fighting Zoom and stuff.
And it's kind of cool that it's that original actor, too.
Yeah. Mr. Mysterious, how do the Reactrons feel about Kevin Smith directing a future episode of The Flash?
Kevin Smith recently had Andrew Kreisberg on his show, who is one of the writers, producers, executives for the 4 shows now that they run. He had him on his podcast, and they had like this awesome conversation. And Kevin Smith, he uploaded this reaction on YouTube about him crying.
Stuff, right?
He's just a big bad, way into the show. And his agent, the person that runs his company, called his agent. It's like, hey, Kevin just seems really like this Flash thing. Will you like contact him and see if like he'd be interested in like directing? So, like Kevin didn't know that they were doing this. Mm-hmm. All this stuff happened, and they said, yeah, we would love to. And then
it's like on the podcast.
Jordan Muse who is like the head of his Smodco company, came up and said like, hey, I got you this gig. You want to do it? And he's like, yeah. I mean, this is something. He's like, this is something I never asked for because I don't think I'm good enough to do it. He's like, he also said like, look, I'm not gonna go up there and put like Jay and Silent Bob in the background, have them zoom around and stuff. Like, I'm gonna do their thing. I don't like to do things that I like for that other people create because I like to just watch them. He's like, I don't want to do a Star Wars movie because I want to watch a Star Wars movie. But if they offer me a Star Wars movie, I'd definitely do it.
Yeah.
You know? Which I can relate to.
Yeah, I can
So,
understand that.
yes, he is going to be going up and doing that. But he also had Brandon Ruth on his podcast, too, recently.
Ah.
And they're talking all about Legends of Tomorrow. And he said, he's like, yeah, I want to do this Flash thing. I love this Flash thing. But I got to say, dude, one of the perks of doing this Flash thing is I might get to do Legends of Tomorrow sometime, too. Because, Brandon Ruth was famously in that one scene in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I don't remember him being in it.
It was him and Justin Long, and they were gay porn stars.
Huh.
And it was hilarious. Apparently, they're just really good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do not.
Woo! Was a question.
What was the question? Kevin Smith's going to direct an episode of Flash.
Yeah, I don't know which one, but I'm going to be super excited.
I wonder how it would be. Remember when the stunt coordinator did an episode of
that was awesome.
We were like, that was awesome, just because they had someone different.
I mean, he made it specific. He specifically said that I'm not writing it. They're writing the scripts. I'm just gonna try to do the best. I'm gonna try to elevate what they give me. Is what he said.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be focused on dialogue because he's very known for his well-paced dialogue.
Cool. I'd be excited.
Yeah.
I want to know. I wonder if we'll pick it out. Like, we're not going to be like, hey, this is going to be it. We're going to watch it right now, and we're going to watch it. I mean, like, I wonder if that was Kevin Smith.
I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I'm sure I'll see it on Twitter or something. Like, hey, guys, it's coming up. I'm going to live tweet it.
All right. Siani Reed says, how does Jay's helmet stay on his head when he's running?
Magnetic.
Doesn't it have, like, a strap?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
It's magnetic.
Yeah.
To what?
He creates electricity.
All right.
I mean, that's complete bullshit. I just threw that up, and you just accepted it. Like that.
Farina Palmer with Eobard Thawne being back and everything with what if Eddie is not dead at all? What if he went to Earth 2 through the wormhole and someone saved his life and therefore Eobard Thawne didn't die? Or maybe his memories were erased. What if Eddie Zoom? Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy. I actually don't believe that Eddie... I don't think we've seen the last of Eddie. I think that eventually... I mean, there's no reason for him to actually...
send his body into the portal and then just...
They're leaving that open for future events, yes. But I really don't know. Maybe he went to Earth 2. He could have went to any Earths. Or
that was the singularity correcting itself, sucking stuff in there that didn't belong in the timeline anymore.
True.
Thus, Eddie is gone forever.
But, the piece of evidence is that Flash's hat came through the wormhole, too. Mm. So, if it's a one-way street, it could be a two-way street.
Kevin
Velasquez.
In the comics, Cisco's powers are capable of disrupting the Flash's connection to the Speed Force.
Correction.
And can potentially kill speedsters. Mm-hmm. Do you think this will factor into the final confrontation with Zoom?
Yeah.
It better. That's awesome.
He's already shot Zoom once.
He shot him, but that didn't have anything to do with
vibing. No, it didn't. But I think it's just like a little tiny thing they threw in there to be like, Cisco's going to have something to do with this stuff later. I could totally see it happen.
Interesting.
I mean, Cisco's given so many names, made so many costumes, and loves so many powers that he has a name now. Vibe.
I want him to have a costume.
He's gonna make himself a costume, and he's gonna learn to use his powers in that vibe, physical way.
Yeah, he should have like a big V on his.
No, he has like glasses and stuff.
He doesn't want a V.
No.
Okay.
He's gay.
No, he dated a hot girl.
And never got in the V.
He tried
and failed.
Hawkman came in, big muscles and stuff.
He got the V.
Pushed him out of the way.
He's had the V for 4,000 years.
GJM Rocker 93. Do you think we'll see a Zoom versus Reverse Flash?
I think that we might see a
Flash Reverse Flash,
Flash, and Reverse Flash versus Zoom. Maybe
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think initially we might see whenever you have like Avengers or you have Justice League, you have to waste a couple minutes having the heroes fight each other, and then they fight the big bad. Not to call Reverse Flash a hero, but they'll probably fight each other for a little bit.
I'm sure as soon
as
Flash...
bet you Flash will be way better.
Probably.
Yeah. And that gives him resentment to get faster.
He seemed very new to the timeline, confused as to where he was. Not like before where he was like...
it's going to be really cool to... Like, if that happens, that'll be really cool to see Barry, like...
freak out?
Like, running from him. And he can't chase him. Or actually, no. It would be very satisfying to see him just catch him. Like, immediately. Wouldn't it? Like, you can't catch me, Flash. And he's like, damn it.
S River 004 says, yeah, when Aaron does the bang, he's too giddy. Suck my dick.
Suck my dick.
Says, looks like Wally did turn out to be another speedster. And to add some salt to Barry's wounds, Patty is moving to the MCU. Midway City University. I guess the C in CW stands for clever. Also, if Harry really somehow gets Turtle power, he'll kind of be an actual Reverse Flash.
Like, if he steals Turtle's power and uses it...
He'll be a slow Flash.
He'll be as fast as they are, because they will be slow. Mm-hmm. He'll be faster. I mean, is the Turtle dead?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's died. I think it was just
like... isn't the Turtle like a...
It's like a lobotomy.
I mean, he's not a huge Flash vision, but Flash villain. But, like, he's like a very permanent member of the Rose Gallery.
Maybe he's going to be...
I mean, he's like Flash's Riddler.
Remember when this season first started?
Yeah.
And we talked about how they kept killing everybody?
Yeah.
It's not something new that they've been doing lately.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, maybe there's going to be a new Turtle in town.
So Harry just becomes the new Turtle?
I don't know, maybe.
He goes from that actor goes from Reverse Flash to the Turtle.
Yeah.
I would give up my contract as soon as I could the next time they renew it.
Why?
Because I'm the Turtle.
Agent 79 says, is Eric growing out his beard in an effort to defend his face from poor slap bet decisions?
Yeah, I have. I actually comb it down, but when I do this, and it gets really up like that,
Gives you more padding?
Gives me more padding, so that's what I've been doing. Also, I've learned to like grow little pockets in there so I can hide like coins and, like candy and knives for if I'm attacked.
Knives. Agent 79 also said that Turtle seems like the perfect metahuman for Zoom to send to kill the Flash. Do you think that Zoom is aware of the Turtle, and if so, was he purposely avoiding him? Also, do you think that Harry will use the Turtle tissue that he extracted to subdue Barry to turn him over to Zoom, or will he use it to double-cross Zoom, or maybe both?
The first part, if Zoom knew about the Turtle, I think that he would have a fear that the Turtle would actually succeed in killing him. All of the villains that he has sent are not good enough. Right? They've made him faster, which is what he wants. Turtle, his power completely... his power, it's awesome on its own right, but it's also the complete antithesis of Flash's power. So I don't know if Zoom... I think Zoom would be smart enough not to send him and risk having him killed without taking it. The second part, though...
Although, if he can kill the Turtle, he's going to be getting faster, too, being able to run through that slowing speed thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But I just think that it's probably a risk maybe that Zoom didn't want to take. Yeah. And he's an Earth 1 person, and Zoom only does Earth 2, sending people. Because, as we know, the Turtle's been doing this since the particle accelerator.
True.
Do you think that Harry will use the Turtle's tissue and make it subdue?
Against Flash or against Zoom?
Or
both.
Himself.
Or give himself the power.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe both.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope they use it, but I still want to see Reverse Flash and Flash team up first.
Rama play. No dad ass jokes on Patty's museum dress, because damn dad ass. We had a
boner joke.
We had a boner joke. I mean...
The table lifted from a boner.
Yeah.
I had to push it back down.
Yeah. So instead of picturing Patty's curvaceous ass, I had to think about your boner being so large and powerful, it was lifting my table up. You ruined that moment for me.
It's a good moment.
It's a good moment.
All right, Melee Hell Bot. Q&A. The whole situation with Krabby Patty and Barry Allen Poe is really starting to get on my nerves. I just want Strawberry to tell Patty that he is the TM70.
Flash.
Pokemon move. It just seems like they're dragging on, and it's going to feel underwhelming when they finally settle the issue. As for a question, with Mockingjay Garrick suffering from watching Dragon Ball Evolution, do you think they will give him his speed back, or will it be like a sacrifice where his powers transfer over to Kanye Wally West?
Kanye WS.
And if Wally does get his powers, will he become part of the main cast, or just like the side stories?
This guy's funny.
We both kind of agreed with the Patty thing. We thought that it needed to be...
It definitely needs closure. It needs some kind of closure. Hopefully not the closure that I pretty much assume is going to be it. And then as for Jay
and Wally West powers type things.
I don't know. I trust Jay. I think that he's being for real.
Yeah, I don't want him to die. I want him to get home.
I mean,
somehow.
Earth 2 needs a Flash. Every Earth needs a Flash. But Earth 2 needs a Flash. All they have right now is Zoom. They don't even have Harrison Wells. You know?
No.
Who do they got? They got an old Arrow. Lance as Black Canary.
And then...
God damn, I'm a cop! That's all he does. He just screams at people. I'm a cop, goddammit! Felicity's mom at the computer being like, I don't know.
What do I do with this?
Oh, I broke it. I don't know.
Moira Queen is Speedy.
Yeah.
And Walter is Arsenal.
What?
What?
Arsenal?
Yeah.
Oh!
Walter is Arsenal.
I'm so subconsciously racist. I thought you said Walter is Arsenio Hall. I'm so sorry. To everybody.
Arsenal.
That line of process. It's. But when you said that, I'm like, what a racist and weird and untimely reference to make. You said Arsenal.
How does that fit? Arsenal.
Arsenio Hall plays
Hall. Arsenal.
We gotta end this, Aaron.
All right. I think it's going to be it for our Q&As for The Flash. On that note, some good questions, mostly asking why the hell is Reverse Flashback.
Yeah, which we never will be able to answer until we watch the next show.
Which is Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure you guys
Today.
tune in to Flash today, Tuesdays, every Tuesday night, all the time. And make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out blindwave.net for everything Blind Wave. And until next time, I'm Aaron.
Eric.
Okay, I was going to say you're Arsenio Hall. We'll see you guys next time. Eric, hit the button.
Woo!